energy drains and turn them into energy gains and give us something to focus on for the week ahead. It's so nice not to go just blindly into the day or blindly into the week, or being really over inundated with goals, or having way too much to do on your to-do list, and then getting frustrated and disgruntled because things take longer than the expected time. So the saying goes, where you have expectations, you'll have disappointment. But yet it's still important to have some type of foundation of your bigger picture. That's why I'm a huge fan of what I call aspiration boards. The aspiration is what gives you that emotion, that passion. And if you back up from that, you have inspiration, and then which might be someone that you see someone doing something in your life, and you're like, oh, that is so great. That's my intention. That's my inspiration. You are my inspiration, so to speak. Then you back that up further, you get your intention, and you back that up further, and you get your, who am I? Why am I here? Well, that's backed up. Then you get some goals after your intention, before your intention. And before your goals, you actually have to have your dream and your passion and your want, your desire, your rocket of desire, as Abraham Hicks calls it. And before that, you got to look and say, why am I here? And then before that, you got to say, who am I? So the two most important questions: who am I and why am I here? And how can I be in service? As opposed to, what product can I sell for the most expensive price to get the most revenue and buy it for the cheapest? That kind of that's an old school of playing the game. And there's a lot of people that still play that game. But really, if you want to live a heart-centered, soul-filled, mission-driven life, it really is a life of service. That's when we come up to that fifth chakra, where we start to learn about that. It's not my ego. It's not my will. It's thy will. So I thought we'd talk a little bit about the obstacles along the way that pop up in our day. And a lot of times those obstacles are time. I have no time. How are you doing? Oh man, I'm so busy. And also reframing the words that we use to find out if it's a negative connotation on our cellular level. I'm so busy. How about you say, man, I am fully optimized. Like, I am maxed. I'm fully optimized. I am living fully towards my dream, rather than saying, I'm so busy towards my dream. There's a big difference, isn't there? Yeah, it's about stepping back. And one of the great ways I use stepping back is, obviously, I say, take it to my cushion. So I'll sit with it and I'll give it some space. I'll say, okay, I'm feeling a little chaos in my mind. And how I know that I'm even getting to that chaos place is if too many cars are driving down my front street and I'm going, oh my gosh, there's just so much automobile noise. Now that people are going back to work and people are actually going out more, it's like, oh my goodness, there's so much noise on the street. It's not noise on the street, it's noise in here. Paying attention to your noise in here. Another way is, like, I can wake up in the middle of the night to hear sirens somewhere. And I'm on a mountain, so I attribute it to the sound waves coming up on the mountain. But why now and not before? And once again, it's like brings it back to the chaos or the hypersensitivity. The hypersensitivity is a great marker to know when it's time to step back, because this can be our biggest obstacle. A lot of times it can be time, it can be our mind, and a lot of times we can blame it on another person, place, or thing or situation. That person, place, or thing or situation is simply that messenger. The cars, the noise that I'm hearing is the messenger. The sirens that are waking me up in the night is the messenger. It's the messenger to that this body And these energy systems, this is a poster that I published, that I designed and made. These energy systems that affect our energy field, these lines going out, our biofield, are our indicators. Wherever we're vibrating, if our field is really small, tight to our body, if we were in a lower vibration, we're going to pick up lower vibrations. If you're on the old radio station where you used to have to dial into AM, or even if you're listening to an AM station, it can't pick up the FM station because it's on a lower frequency. That's why AM radio is usually less a less quality, not a less quality, but a less frequency. You can't get as many stations. Some of the stations are staticky. They don't come in very clear. But if you increase your frequency, you get a clearer radio station. So maybe we can liken that to the fact that we'll get a clear, we start to clear our field of the static. So when I say when we talk about grounding and centering and aligning, grounding is taking that static out of the field. So it just simply will fall away. It's like having a balloon that you rub on your hair and then you can put it on the wall. You're creating that friction. You're creating that static that allows it to stick to the wall. And when it subsides and it goes, then the balloon will fall off the wall. Nobody has to pull it off the wall. It will just fall off the wall itself. That's the same thing with our biofield. When we can increase our field and take it to that calm place, you take your chaos, you go to your cushion, you sit, you bring it back, you ground into the earth, you feel yourself just literally connecting with the earth. It allows you to just allow that first layer of static, that AM radio station, just to fall away, just to simply fall away. I also love to bring in my essential oils. I work with them with the Chinese meridian in protocols in my treatments. But even so, you can just simply use it as a form of inhalation. I often say, don't take it right up to your nose. Don't, the body doesn't need that shock. Start first here. And work for the smell. Work to bring yourself into that deep presence to try to smell it at this point. Allow the body to work to find it. We want to learn, we want to reteach the body that we want to bring our senses back. We want to bring our imagination back. This one that I'm holding in my hand is called Palmarosa, Palmarosa. It's a beautiful essential oil. As we get closer, we can bring it up a little bit higher. It is called the Great Harmonizer. So when we're working with obstacles, it's really wonderful to pull in things that offer us to build our strengths. You know how we like to lean into the planets. We've also got Saturn and a few other things going on that are going to could cause some disruption in our lives. I have, yes, I wrote it down. Saturn may be shaking up our foundations. So that's why I thought it was really great to talk about how we can not let our foundations shake, or not get shaken by the fact that they're shaking. Just because they're shaking, a little tremble doesn't mean that they're going to fall apart. It's saying pay attention. And how do we pay attention? We pay attention by calming our mind. Sometimes I even like to wear Palmarosa is a great one to wear, and you want to dilute it. You don't want to use oils that are fully 100%. I like to take it from both my fingers. And even on the middle finger, actually, because the middle finger has a connection with Palmarosa. And we just hold it right beside the front of our ears, right in front of this little tab here. And how it creates the harmonizer is actually, it increases our listening. It allows us to bring ourselves into that awareness. So it's a Chinese meridian point that will allow for, I call it an opening of the gates. And it's a great way, normally in acupuncture, they may put a little needle here or something, but I choose not to work with the needles. I choose to work with the oils. So just feel your feet on the floor and feel your buttocks in your seat wherever you might be sitting. And you can do this even without the oil. You can call in the plant essence because you're calling in the vibration and the frequency of Palmarosa. So you might even want to try this while we're doing it here. Yeah, and you just want to wait for a little shift. So that would, like, that nice deep breath that my body decided to take would probably be a really great indication that that's a good shift for me. If I was in a heading off into an appointment and I was didn't have the extra 3 minutes to sit with it. And when we sigh, and we sigh with noise, if we have the opportunity to open our mouth and make the noise that the body chooses to make, just allow the body to make that noise. It is like our own tuning fork. And a few episodes back on the Monday Motivation, I was talking about my neighbor and the difficulties that we were having with building the fence and how frustrating it can get. And I took it to my cushion. And instead of building a fence, I put up 27 cedars. And I'm a tree mama. I'm an earth mama. And I'm like, why didn't I think of that 30 years ago? I've been living here for 30 years. I'm like, why didn't I think about that 30 years ago? And it took to this point. And now every time I see him out of the kitchen window through my trees, I think in my mind, thank you. Thank you for offering me that resistance that really got me to the point and place where I just so love the trees, and going out into the backyard and having that privacy and having the trees created a whole new piece of heaven for me. And that's what we want. We want to create those paradise places, those places that bring you joy and allow you to connect with nature. Nature is our natural healer. And so when you see an obstacle, when you hit resistance, when you hit that note of frustration, that low rumbling note of frustration, bring that note higher. Bring that note to a middle note or a high note to allow you to the opportunity to expand into your centering. You're grounding, you're centering into your heart, and you're aligning with potentially a new desire. You're aligning with an inner intelligence and a higher intelligence, your higher self, divine consciousness, God, whatever you want to call that space above, that place of many names. Take the time to go there this week as Saturn rumbles the foundations and allows for those new pieces of grass to come through the cracks, or the light to come in and expand different parts of your foundation so something new can be built upon it. Thanks for being with me today. My name is Deborah O'Neill. I'm the CEO and founder of Bliss.me, Integrative Holistic Health. I'm here to share because I love you and I care. I'd love nothing more than to work with you one-to-one if that is feeling called, distance or in person. I have 2 locations that I work from here in Vancouver, or just outside of Vancouver. MaxFit in Port Moody, BC, and Bliss.me Studio in Coquitlam, BC, which are side-by-side cities. Thank you, thank you, thank you. info@bliss.me. Please like, subscribe, share, save, watch again if it works, and come back next Monday. I love to share time with you. Thanks for being here. Bye for now.